How's it going? Tony Alarcon here at Evolutionist Treatment Center. I'm a primary therapist. Today I want to talk about letting go and the importance not just of letting go, but the timing with which we let go. It has a lot to do with the trajectory of our lives, especially our emotional stability. In life in general, not just in recovery, it's important that we are efficient with letting go. Very often the reason why we hold on to many things that are detrimental to us or impede our ability to sustain recovery or impede our ability to enjoy the freedom that life offers is fear. The fear of what is to come if we let go. For instance, a relationship. Let's say perhaps we can agree that we're in a toxic relationship or in a codependent relationship for that matter. And it doesn't have to be with a significant other. It can be with a friend, can be with a crew of friends, can be with family members, even so much as a parent. There comes a point where either we let go or life falls apart. Very often we feel as though things take time to let go of. And so we tend to use terms like, it's not that easy, you don't understand, it's complicated. But is it really? I mean, in essence, we typically tend to have the proper answer to any given scenario right off the bat. We know what the answer is. The problem is our fear, right? For instance, if somebody continues to talk down to us, or makes us feel as though we are not worthy or as though we can't accomplish things, or if we try, we will more than likely fail. Typically our instincts will tell us, well, what this person is saying is hurting me, it doesn't feel right. But rather than letting go of the relationship or of the person, or putting up a boundary which says, hey, I don't appreciate that type of talk around me, especially not about me. Instead, our fear of being alone or losing the relationship winds up creating a barrier all its own. And then we'll sit there and wait and hope that somehow the weather will change, that somehow this person will begin to say things that send light into our system. When frankly, all we really had to do was right off the bat, let go. And we tend to know this very quickly. I mean, you know when a dog is approaching you, you can almost tell if he's going to bite just by the way he looks at you and the way he barks and if he shows his teeth. Immediately we know we got to get away. But with people, somehow we assume that time will take care of it. And that's not true. And this is how toxic moments and toxic relationships can turn into these toxic cycles and can actually drop level after level as we give it time. For instance, let's just say I have met somebody new. I tend to struggle with this person's personality and I go back and forth. And in my mind, I say to myself, this isn't right. That person shouldn't speak to me that way. But then I don't say nothing and I let it bubble up and let it bubble up and months go by and I keep trying to work it out. Undeniably and without exception, eventually, my thoughts will turn into words and I will sink into a lower level in which I will likely respond in kind. And perhaps this person says to me, oh, you're not worth anything, you can't do this, you're not a man or you're not a woman. Then all of a sudden the response comes out, well, you're not this and you're not that and expletive this and expletive that. Now we've sunk to a much lower level simply for not letting go. So what happens? Time continues to go on and we don't let go. And the verbal abuse might start to manifest into actions. And now let's just say one person pushes the other one pushes back. All of a sudden the authorities appear. Now we're manifesting down to an even further level, all for not having let go. Based on what? Based on fear. Fear of what? Fear of being alone. However, how many of you can agree with the fact that sometimes it's best to be alone than to be in bad company? sometimes if we can remain at a baseline, sometimes, as a matter of fact, the further the pull is on the negative energy that pulls us down to all these lower levels, the faster the ascent if you finally let go. Otherwise, what can happen is this energy can drive you into a swirl, into a cycle of negative output, negative input, because it's a back and forth thing. And before you know it, these cycles, they can go on for months, they can go on for years. Unfortunately, and one of the saddest things in the human experience is for a negative cycle to last a lifetime. And it can happen, and it does happen, and you will know this when you meet people or have known people all your lives, and your outlook has always been, man, they're always so negative. That's the negative cycle, and this is what happens when you don't let go. When you try to hang on for dear life, and all for what? Basically for the fear of being alone, which is what? Fear of getting to know yourself. Now, if you circle back to the beginning, the fact of the matter is, had you actually gotten to know yourself right at the onset, you would have probably been better equipped to attach yourself to relationships where people have the qualities, the same qualities that you appreciate, the ones that you appreciate in yourself, or they have the qualities that you would like to acquire for yourself. But instead, what we do is we form these codependent relationships and these toxic relationships where we hang on for dear life just not to be alone, which actually becomes a double-edged sword, because then you never get to know who you really are. Thus, you will never get to find somebody who complements you. Thus, you will never find that harmony that should be the human experience when you enter into a healthy relationship. Again, let go. Expedience is a virtue when it comes to letting go. If you know something is not right and something doesn't feel right, the quicker you let go, the better off you are. The same goes with toxic thoughts. Same goes with traumatic material. And you can practice this at home. I have found that one of the best ways to practice is not just letting go of negative things, but even of the positive thoughts. I mean, for instance, let's just say you get a raise at work. Well, in your mind, you might be all day, oh, this is amazing, I can't believe it, this really happened, this is going really great, really great. But just as a practice, can you put it down for a minute? All right, that was great. Now let me get to cooking dinner, because it's time to cook dinner and I want to watch this basketball game. Practice not dwelling on thoughts. That way, when the negative ones arise and traumatic material or regrets or resentments appear in your mind, you can put them down and you can practice it. Very many times we get stuck in these thoughts as well. Oh my God, did I say what I think I said? Oh my God, they just told me that I said what I said. I can't believe I said it. I can't believe I said it. Why would I have said such a thing? And we dwell, and we dwell, and we dwell. And then the present moment just keeps passing us by. Can you put it down? If you cannot put it down, if you cannot let go, that is your work. You need to practice it. Sometimes it helps to grab a physical object. If you find that you're dwelling on something that is negative for too long, grab something and name it that. And say to yourself, you know what? Today, not because I want to let it go, but because I need to get my reps in, I need to practice letting it go, I'm going to take this thought of regretting what I said and I'm going to put it down and see what's the next thought that enters my mind. Work at it, because this will make you far more efficient when it comes to dealing with emotional stuff, with emotional thoughts and baggage and just personal feelings. This will make it far easier to navigate through life without having our personal lives affect our work or vice versa. It's very important that we practice letting go. If we do not let go, we are sure to descend. The quicker we let go, the quicker we ascend. And the further we have descended for not letting go, the further we will ascend by letting go. So if I'm being honest, I would tell you that you have the greatest gains to be had by letting go of the heaviest stuff first, much like a rubber band. The further you pull it down, if you let it go, the higher it's gonna go. And this is the way we do with weighty stuff in our lives. This is what we should do, and it's a great practice. The heavier it weighs on your mind, that should be the first thing you let go. Once you ascend from that thought, the energy fields change, and you might see the smaller problems from a greater vantage point and be able to handle them accordingly. I hope this was helpful. Practice letting go. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next video.